when the world needed a hero.
The swallow ourselves! I don't want to die!
What it got was him.
Groovy.
This is my boomstick!
Yeah!
Hi, welcome to... Oh shit, I just turned my Xbox on. Hi, welcome to Bomb Squad Matinee, episode number 3. First one hosted by me, your host and master of ceremony, Tanner Richard Kraft, and with me I have...
Hi, I'm Urban Shapiro. I help distribute Battleship Potemkin.
Klaatu, Verata,
And I'm in costume because I'm not gonna be on the Halloween episode.
Gonna miss
Your
you.
costume sucks.
Fuck you.
That's
Where are you
fair.
supposed to be?
I'm
mom.
I'm Brightburn,
Wait.
and I'm also wearing a James Gunn related shirt.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's,
you
it's,
are a bright burn on my happiness.
Damn.
You know, that is, yeah. I hope I'm the bane of your existence. I hope I just shatter your happiness.
I'm the bane of my own existence. Anyway, if you couldn't tell by all the references, like Boomstick and Klaatu, today we are talking about the best Evil Dead movie. Fuck you if you disagree. Army of Darkness.
Well, I'm out.
All right, that's fair.
Tanner coming in with the hot takes right at the beginning.
I don't think it's that hot. It's pretty hot.
It's sizzling. Yeah.
It's mildly sizzling. It's definitely on the McDonald's grill for hash browns. I don't know where that one came from. But before we get into our thoughts on the movie overall, I have 2 questions for you guys.
We were braced for this earlier.
One of these questions is completely irrelevant, but I want to hear your thoughts on it anyway. So number 1, what's your favorite movie about a fucking buffoon, stupid little dipshit asshole, but not an asshole, just an absolute moron, but you love him? Favorite movie with that guy as a main character? And another part of the question is, what is your favorite Linkin Park album? Austin, we'll start with you.
All right, I'm going to answer the Linkin Park one first. Minutes to Midnight, Don't Kill Me. Because it has Hands Held High on it, and I really, really like that song. So, as for favorite film where the main character is a big dumb brick, I actually have a serious soft spot for Pain and Gain, the Michael Bay film. I know a lot of people went crazy for Ambulance, but I think Pain and Gain might be the greatest thing he's ever done. Just the way that film captures the essence of Florida is so perfect. Everybody's like drunk on materialism, superficiality, and the dialogue actually makes it seem like Michael Bay is in on the joke. Shout out to my runner-up, Spinal Tap. 1970s rock and roll bands were not known for housing the best and the brightest among us. Back to you, Tanner.
Good answer. Joe! Vrenick, what is your favorite movie where the main character is just an absolute waste of space moron, but you love him? And also your favorite Linkin Park album?
I'm gonna get my favorite Linkin Park album out of the way. It's Transformers the album, but because
Good answer. Family Feud.
we're sticking on the Michael Bay train. Anyway, favorite movie where one of the main characters of the movie is waste of space, waste of my life. It's my life.
Get off the stage!
I ruined the bit. I wanted to be like, Tanner's the main character of that. I'm just giving you shit, buddy. I love you. No. My actual answer to this, there's a couple. On the one hand, I could argue that Bill and Ted, any of those Bill and Ted movies could fit into this category. Because, let's be honest, they're not the brightest bulbs in the bunch, but the thing about that, though, is they want to learn, they want to be smarter, and they're kind-hearted souls. So I can't go out of my way to be like, oh yeah, look at this movie with a bunch of fucking idiots. No, I'm not gonna do that. So, I'm going with my second answer, and that's Big Trouble in Little China. And on the one hand, it's technically cheating, because when you really break it down, Kurt Russell's the fucking, side character of that movie. He's not really the lead, but he's made out, he's built up to be the lead. And yet he's the biggest goddamn buffoon of the whole movie. He's basically the comic relief character that thinks he's the lead. is constantly trying, like, he's taking charge, kicking ass, sort of. The fucking final fight of the movie, he's knocked out for most of it, and he helps save the day in the end completely by accident. And then on top of that, you get a really cool science fiction kung fu action movie. So all around, you're getting a good time out of Big Trouble in Little China. So that's my answer. Back to you, Tanner.
All right, great. Thanks for telling me that. I hate you. Tim.
I hate you too, buddy.
I love you more. Tim, what is your favorite movie where the main character is just an absolute dipshit, fucking no thought, head empty, just nothing going on in there, 3 brain cells and 4 of them died 7 years ago? Favorite movie where that main character is the archetype, and also your favorite Linkin Park album?
So when I first started getting into music, two of the first albums that I got into were Hybrid Theory and Meteora, and I would definitely say Meteora is my favorite Linkin Park album. It's sort of an evolution of their style from Hybrid Theory, but it hasn't diverted quite as much as it did in the later albums. So that's my answer for that one. I didn't have a whole lot of prep time for this question. I've just been very busy today. But I guess I'll give you a 2-for-1 on dumb 3 brain cell characters, and that's Step Brothers, baby. Yeah. We got 2 absolute wastes of space motherfuckers living together who don't know how to adult, and they're gradually learning, but they're being dumb as fuck and having karate fights in their basement. It's a fun time. It's one of the best Will Ferrell movies from that period, I think. Just a lot of goofy, dumb fun. Back to you, Taylor.
I got to admire the more nuanced answer for the Linkin Park question.
That question was sort of designed for Tim.
I guess.
I meant that more, and I knew you would have the more interesting answer. I'll get it out of the way. My favorite Linkin Park album is either Minutes to Midnight, which was Austin's answer, or alternatively 1,000 Suns. My favorite, fun fact, my first ever song I ever streamed on Spotify was Shadow of the Day off of Minutes to Midnight. This episode's a train wreck. I love it. Ethan's gonna hate this when he listens to it. I'm specifically trying to piss off Ethan. Anyway, favorite movie where the main character is just a cinnamon roll, no thought, head empty, just a absolute no brain, never had a brain, just absolute fucking lobotomized 7 Ways to Sunday movie is Rush Hour 2. Let's go with Rush Hour 2.
There we go.
Mostly because of the blooper reel where the guy throws out the window and then Chris Tucker goes, he ain't gonna be in Rush Hour 3. Funniest goddamn thing in the history of cinema. Anyway, my actual answer to that question is not, in fact, Rush Hour 2. It's Rush Hour 3 with Roman Polanski. No, I'm kidding. My actual answer to this question is Army of Darkness. My favorite Evil Dead movie because it leans the most into the action tropes of the franchise along with the comedic tropes of the franchise. So, let's get right into it. Overall thoughts on Army of Darkness. Let's start with the group's residential Evil Dead expert, Joe Vrenick. Just kidding. Tim Sullivan.
Yeah. Army of Darkness is a good time. I like it a lot. I was happy to revisit it for the episode. It's got a lot of really cool monster designs, a lot of fun quips, but I think what really makes this movie strong is its performances, specifically Dave Bautista. He plays a great dad in this movie. You gotta love it.
Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck
No.
up! I hate you!
I had to take it full circle.
Austin. Army of Darkness. Army of the Dead. Fuck me. I said, you ruined me, Tim!
I had to take it full circle. But yeah, Army of Darkness, legitimately great movie. I like the first 2 Evil Deads more, but this one is always a fun time. I mentioned this in my most recent Letterboxd review of Army of Darkness. I think it's the most, like, proto-Xena of the Evil Dead movies. Like, it definitely leans into some of the stuff that, like, Renaissance Pictures would do with their, like, daytime TV shows. Just a lot of fun, campy, goofy, like, action comedy, and it's a real good time. I'll probably have more to say in general discussion, but in short, Army of Darkness, movie good, movie bad, It's the movie with the gun. Back to you, Tanner.
I agree. Anyway, let's go on to the only other person that's hosted an episode on The Evil Dead, Austin Zwiebelman.
Huh?
That's a lie. The actual answer is Joe Vrenick, but I'm saving him for last because fuck him. Austin, your turn.
Fuck you too, buddy.
I love you so much. I am so sorry this is a train wreck.
I want to say I want to apologize in advance for what I'm about to do. I've actually never seen this film before just now. I gave it the old college try. I watched the theatrical cut and the international version. I watched all the special features from the various releases throughout the years, and I listened to the commentary with Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell, and I tell you what, boys, this is not my can of nuts. I think Evil Dead, for me, always meant that there'd be some level of outrageous gore. You can tell that the franchise eventually calibrated to this setting permanently. Like, the Fede Alvarez remake is a fucking splatterhouse, and Evil Dead Rise literally ends in a wood chipper. So the idea of a PG-13 Evil Dead is like in that camp with PG-13 RoboCop, not ideal. And then to add insult to injury, Universal couldn't even bag the PG-13 rating, even though that's what Raimi and company were shooting for. So basically you've got like a Matrix 1-ass movie where it's basically rated R, because somebody at the MPAA like had a migraine that day or something. So with the outrageous gore out the door, you're kind of left with like Three Stooges style slapstick act. Sam Raimi's like swashbuckling spin on a Ray Harryhausen film. And the whole Outlander gimmick where a boneheaded man from Michigan has to interact with 14th century British people. And I just think the screenplay's a little too weak for that combination to turn into a winning formula. Some of the Three Stooges moments are legitimately grating for me. Like Ash's run-in with the little Ashes, or the Goody Little Two-Shoes dance, makes me mad. The Ray Harryhausen stuff is admirable, though. I found the mix of, like, rod puppets, guys in suits, and stop motion actually kind of fun, but that ending battle where, like, the shit goes down felt like it either overstayed its welcome or wasn't structured well or something. I can't quite put my finger on it. And the 20th century, like, Bozo Man time travel story really did have its moments, but the movie fucked that up by keeping Ash separate from his medieval cohorts for a lot of the second act. So in the end, I wasn't too hot on this picture. But I'm not gonna, like, throw the glove down yet on people who actually enjoy Army of Darkness, because I've seen things in my time. Like the first time I listened to the album Yeezus, or the first time I saw The Exorcist. I am open to the idea that this might grow on me in time. Hell, it might even be as simple as, like, needing to just go watch this in a theater with a crowd of actual Evil Dead fans. But until then, I would say Army of Darkness is like the redheaded stepchild of Evil Dead movies. The way I see it, sometime after Evil Dead 1 came out, Sam Raimi and his friend thought naming a movie The Medieval Dead was too good to pass up, and this is basically them trying to make a symphony out of a 2-bit joke. But that's just my opinion. Back to you, Tanner.
All right, Austin, I have a follow-up question.
Yeah?
Why do you hate me?
Why do I hate you? We agree on so many movies. We don't gotta agree on all the movies.
I have snipers trained and aiming at your head.
Man.
And also your pet chimpanzee's head. Bozo's gonna get the business.
Bozo
Joe
doesn't...
Vrenick. Joe Vrenick is a bozo, I agree. No, I'm just kidding. Joe
Tanner.
Vrenick, what
Hey, Tanner. Tanner, ask me that question you asked Austin. We'll be here a while.
Why do you hate me? No, I'm kidding.
All
Joe,
right, let's go.
Thoughts on Army of Darkness?
All right. Okay. So I'm going to bring the mood back, but I'll kind of stay in that little groggy area that Austin left behind. Okay. Problems I have with this movie. It's not as good as the previous films. It does lean a little bit away from the horror, which is sorely missed in this. Ash, at a certain point, gives a shit about the people around him, which honestly makes it a little less interesting to me. I think it would be much more interesting if the entire movie he was just fucking selfish, and then somehow everyone else, like all the likable people around him, saved the day, and yet he still winds up on top somehow. But that's just a personal thing. It's kind of like whenever, like, you see a Mad Max movie and then he starts to give a shit about people. No, that's not interesting. I don't like it when Mad Max gives a shit about people. He's just there for the gasoline. With that aside, though, it's a fun time. I think it's very fun. I I guess you have to have kind of a certain taste for Three Stooges-esque, like, slapstick comedy, because it's like, if you're partial to it, then yeah, like Austin was saying, it'll probably get a little bit grating on you if you're just kind of like about it. But for me, I love that kind of slapstick. I love Three Stooges-esque like comedy. Specifically when Bruce Campbell is getting the shit kicked out of him. That is, it's like whenever I put Tanner in a movie and I just like throw shit at him and I hurt him somehow. It's always a good time. It makes me laugh. Also, I just think Bruce Campbell has a very funny scream. He has like the funniest scream ever.
Objection.
Yes.
Funniest scream ever is in that leaked version of the Mummy trailer where Tom Cruise goes, ah! Ah! That's the funniest one.
Okay, fair. Everything else that I love about it, I love how expensive and yet also cheap this movie is. Like, this movie has, like, grand, epic, like, fantasy sets, and yet, like, in the climax of the movie, they resort to just throwing, like, model skeletons at Bruce Campbell and have him pretend to fight them. It's fucking hilarious. Overall, yeah, no, I do really like this movie. It's fun. Expensive, but cheap. Wish there was a bit more horror, but, you know, I had a good time, and I can't complain. Back to you, Tanner.
I can complain about your opinions. They're bad, and you should feel bad.
I could say the same thing about you, buddy.
That's true. Anyway, this is by far the best Evil Dead movie, for me, personally. Funny that the best Evil Dead movie doesn't have the words Evil Dead in the title. Really funny how you think about that. Tim, remind me, this was distributed by someone else other than the first two Evil Dead movies, and that's why it's not called The Evil Dead, right?
Yeah, this one was distributed by Universal, and in classic Evil Dead fashion, just lots of weird legal issues.
Yeah, this franchise filled with them. Except it seems in a pretty safe place with Warner Brothers for now, at least.
Fun fact, Dino De Laurentiis was suing Universal and got this movie delayed by a year because Dino De Laurentiis made Manhunter, the early Hannibal Lecter film. And so while Universal was trying to make Silence of the Lambs, Dino De Laurentiis, the producer of this, was suing them, saying, I only have the rights to Hannibal Lecter. So like a couple movies got caught in that crossfire, and Army of the Dead was one of them.
Army of Darkness.
Army of the Darkness, yeah.
Army of the Penis.
Agatha, yes. House of Army of the Darkness, yeah. This movie.
Rise of the war for the planet of the rise of the levy of the apes.
Yeah.
This is a goddamn train wreck. I'm so sorry. Anyway, Army of Darkness. I fucking love Army of Darkness. I got to see it in 35mm film earlier this year, which was sick. I believe Tim was also there. Joe, were you?
Yes.
I was working it.
Oh yeah!
Yeah!
You gave me my water!
Yeah, I didn't get to fucking see it.
Oh.
Skill issue. Wouldn't let it happen to me personally. Anyway, you were working
fucked,
all the way back then? Was it
that
like June?
Yeah, that was June. I started
oh god, this is disaster to listen to. I'm so sorry, everyone.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Everyone that was on board with Matinee is immediately off board as soon as Tanner starts hosting it. Anyway,
So you saw it on 35? That fucking owns.
Yeah, no, it rules, especially because it was like an older cop. Well, I think they said it was struck in like 06 or 07, I think. So it wasn't too aged. Like it was struck for some special second edition run when they still had to do that in order to put movies in theaters.
Right.
But like one of the last times they had to do that because by the time Avatar comes out, everyone's using digital. Yep. But that's still a couple of years before that happened. So it was aged, but not too aged. There was like even like a little like fucking like cigarette burn ass moment. I don't think that's the right term, but I can't remember. It was aged in a cool way.
Yeah.
Like it was a high quality, but you could still see the grain. You could still see the scratches. It looked cool. And this movie lends itself well to that, especially, and Austin, your issues with the effects could really be solved by watching a 35mm version because the grain and the scratches kind of help cover up some of the flaws with the stop motion integration.
That's totally fair. Yeah, it's interesting. The process they did to make the effects happen, I'm excited to talk about it in general discussion.
Yeah.
From a technical perspective, it's crazy. But I'd love to see
brilliant. It's brilliant. But I think for me, this is Bruce Campbell's best turn in the role. Mostly because I think he's kind of given the most to do as a character.
Yeah.
In the first two movies, it's kind of him just screaming and shitting his pants for 2 hours. While in this one, it kind of feels like he has more of a character arc as he really becomes that hero archetype. Especially if you watch the supermarket ending version instead of the international version. I might get into this more in general discussion. I straight up just kind of don't like the international version ending. I much prefer the supermarket ending. What was that, Austin?
The original intended ending was the bummer ending, but I'm with you.
know.
I like the S-Smart ending more.
The S-Smart ending, I think, is a more deserved ending. After everything Bruce goes through, everything Ash goes through in these first 3 movies, the fucker deserves a goddamn happy ending.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean he's...
Don't just say that about Ash. Say that about Bruce Campbell too. That man.
Yeah, Bruce Campbell also deserves a happy ending, but he got that IRL.
So much goddamn physical torment. Holy shit.
I mean, I remember how the scene where Ash's face is being pelted with rocks, Sam Raimi actually threw potatoes at his face to try and piss him off.
I saw a meme where it was like a photo of little nerdy Sam Raimi and big handsome Bruce Campbell, and it was like, one of these people is a bully who's picking on the other guy, and you won't believe which one it actually is.
Yeah, no, that's so true.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bruce deserves that happy ending. I think all the action scenes are really fun. Again, mostly because of Bruce Campbell's choreography. His absolute steadfast commitment to the role is second to none. You are hard pressed to find more performances in the history of horror cinema and cinema in general that are this physically committed. Just absolutely physically committed to sacrificing their body. Bruce is still paying for it all these years later.
Yeah.
That man wakes up sore every day and we thank him for it.
Yeah.
But the rest of the cast is great too. The like love interest that like turns bad. Love that. She's great. Just all the zombies, great. The main little bad guy, great. I love Bruce's robot arm thing. It makes no fucking sense. How does that work? I don't know. How does like a medieval mechanic person build a robot hand? Don't care. It's sick as hell.
Look, Tanner, the thing is, you don't understand these things like nuclear fission and quantum mechanics.
Thanks for the molecular structure.
Listen, I like...
Primitive screwhead.
Like most movies, this movie gets it. What's the most important rule in cinema, boys? That's right, the rule of thirds. But after the rule of thirds, that's right, Tim, it's the rule of cool.
There we go.
It's just straight up... It's just straight up the gauntlet from Berserk.
And I love it. I love that. I wish he had a Cloud Strife Buster Sword, though. That'd be even cooler.
Hell yeah.
Bruce Campbell with the Buster Sword be like...
Get that for the animated Ash vs. Evil Dead thing they're trying to make. Just let him be a shonen protagonist with a giant sword.
I think Bruce Campbell should be... Not Ash Williams, but Bruce Campbell should be the protagonist of the next Final Fantasy game. Who's with me?
Hell yeah.
I'd actually play it.
We're all in agreement. Good. Anyway, that's all I have to say before general discussion. So we're going to do a little ad break, and we'll be back. Bye, boys and ghouls. Hi, welcome back from the ad break for an ad. Moviepalette.com. Enter the code SQUAD15 to save 15% or more on cart.
Off of your order when you go to purchase.
What Joe said.
Get one for Army of Darkness. Get one for Brightburn. Get one for...
Don't get one for Brightburn.
St. Louis Blues. Do they have a movie? Sure. Who knows? Go to
their 2019 Stanley Cup Championship film?
Sure. Go to moviepalette.com. Get it made. Get 15% off your order when you type in Squad 15, baby.
Where the fuck did you get the St. Louis Blues from?
Your fucking flag, man, in your background.
Oh. Yeah, that'll do it, huh? Anyway, time for the section I'm calling Freeform Jazz. Does anyone have anything they want to play in the sock tube? All right, Austin, go ahead.
There's a couple of stories about, apparently there were some extras wilding out on this production. Have you guys heard about the 2 times that extras completely like fucking set the set on fire? Any of you? Okay.
I haven't heard that. Can you tell me?
Okay, I just wanted to know. So fucking, there was, it was initially during the slave march. Bruce Campbell was marching with a guy, and this dude was just doing something wrong, like he couldn't hear Sam. So eventually Bruce goes up to him and is like, hey, you know what's going on here? Like, you're on a film set. And the guy's like, this isn't the military, shut up! And Bruce is like, well, we're paying you, so please do what Sam says. And this guy ripped his fucking beard off, threw it on the ground, said, fuck you! And marched into the desert. And they had to get another person to replace him in the slave walk. Okay. But that
I was hoping that story would end with they had to get another person to find him or else he'd die.
He dehydrated. They didn't give a fuck. They didn't have the budget to save the guy.
I don't give a fuck!
This second story makes that seem like small potatoes. So one time, it was a night shoot. Bruce Campbell walked towards the castle. Guess what he saw? 2 extras. This is while they were filming the fight scene. Gay sex. Just 2 dudes.
Hell
fucking
yeah.
in the castle one night. Just straight up. What was this, like 1990, 1989? Bruce Campbell walked in like, goddamn! And I just can't believe the audacity. Like, everyone's having 16-hour days in the desert, and these 2 dudes are like, yeah! Like, imagine that. Jesus Christ.
I want to imagine that was Bruce Campbell's. It wasn't like even the first time he saw gay sex. That was like his introduction to gay sex as like a concept. He didn't know it was possible until he walked in on them. He walked in on them and like, whoa, what the fuck? He's killing that guy! And then the guy's like, no, it's anal sex. It's different. It's sodomy. It's legal in some states.
We're wrestling!
Well, shit, I didn't know you could stick it in that hole.
Yeah.
I've tried this with my girlfriend. I'm gonna... Ooh! I put my boomstick up his bum.
God, speaking
And then it went boom.
you guys know the guys...
That means it came.
Thank you, Tanner. That totally didn't come across. Pun intended.
You guys know the Geyser of Blood, right? You guys know the Geyser of Blood? Big
Yeah.
Red Geyser
Of course
of Blood?
I know the Geyser of Blood.
Okay, that wasn't...
I pee at Geyser of Blood every morning.
You could have
You should
been
go see
useful on this set!
I should see a doctor.
I was gonna say, you should see a doctor.
Okay, so that geyser, like, wasn't in the script, man. So, 𝐼𝐿𝐥𝐿, is that how you say Bruce Campbell's wife's name? Bruce Campbell's wife, she was the costume lady on this movie. She had only made singles for all the extras in that scene. As in, what they were wearing on their bodies was the only copy of their wardrobe in the entire world. So when Sam Raimi was like, fuck it, put a geyser of blood in there, who cares? She was shitting a brick, because that, like, VFX blood they were using, it dries pink. It would have ruined any costume that it got on. And they did not have time to test it, so they didn't know who it would get on or anything. So everyone was scared. But fortunately, you can see this in the take. When the geyser goes off, the wind was blowing it away from all the extras. So the day was fucking saved by the wind.
Hell yeah.
Luckiest shit I've ever seen.
I remember, like, before I watched the Evil Dead movies, I just saw some, like, gore compilation set to a metal song or something that had that geyser of blood scene. And I was like, I need to watch whatever the hell this is from.
So, Embeth David Duchovny.
X-Files, the truth's out there, baby. Embeth Davis. Miss Honey from
plays,
Matilda.
And she plays like the...
Sheila, right? It's Sheila.
Yeah. Whoever she plays in the movie with the prosthetics and the nighttime, she actually contemplated to quit acting when they were filming this, right? Because it was such a miserable fucking time. But in later interviews, she's like, I'm glad I did it because everyone says such nice things to me about it.
Hey, there you go.
Which is so wholesome.
Army of Darkness being your first shoot is really like being born on, I don't know, -4th base. I don't know, it's like being born in a plane that's crashing. Like, Army of Darkness was 111 days of filming in the desert and having a bad time. Like 16-hour days, every day, no breaks. There was actually one point where, one of the K&B makeup guys went up to Rod Tappert and was like, "Sir, it's been 21 days since we've had a break. Please, can we have a break?" And Rod Tappert was like, "You know what? Yeah, we gotta talk about this." And he walks off, and this guy is thinking he's gonna go, like, tell Sam or ask Sam about this. And then later, the makeup guy's looking around, and he sees Rob Tappert driving off. Oh, beyond the desert as fast as he fucking can.
Rod's like, fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. But you guys know that this film did the classic fucking like film school bullshit, but since they're professionals, they can do this, which is where they
not just shoot their wide shots, but they also shoot their close-ups at the same time.
What?
They shot their wides and their close-ups at the same time, and because of this, the boom mic had to be really fucking far out of frame.
Right on.
So because of this, Bruce had to wear a wireless mic. He had to wear a lav the whole time. Get this? The microphone was concealed within the chainsaw pole hook.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
Huh.
That's where the microphone is concealed on his body. I don't think there's any shots where you can tell, but it's in there.
I wonder if it was like dangly, because that would be a dangly object coming from the chainsaw. That would probably get a dog shit audio signal. But that is a really creative place to put a lav mic. It's a lav mic.
I think it was like hidden like right at the area where he would pull. And they had like, since he's wearing a dark blue shirt, they had some like black foam there to hide it, I think.
God, yes.
Speaking of the chainsaw, I just want to say, I fucking love the bit where he jumps up and clicks into the chainsaw. It's so stupid, and I just love it every time.
It's so stupid. You know what? I love the fact that in order to make it look like the chainsaw was perpetually running, some guy had to blow tobacco smoke up Bruce Campbell's pants.
There we go. That's how you do it.
I like that it's specifically tobacco. I like to think that they got some like PA that had never smoked a cigarette in his life and said, "Here you go, kid. Newports."
Oh my
Here
god.
you go, Johnny. Smoke 'em up.
It's like that King
Smoke
of the
'em
Hill
up,
episode.
Johnny!
It's like that King of the Hill episode where Hank makes Bobby smoke a bunch of packs of cigarettes. Like he takes.
They all get addicted. The whole family gets addicted to cigarettes.
From what I can remember, it's like if your kid is suddenly really into smoking, just make them smoke a carton in one sitting, and then they won't like smoking anymore. Classic Texas parenting ritual.
Or they'll accidentally get addicted along with your entire family.
Yeah, the secondhand smoke will make everybody realize Lucky Strikes means fine tobacco.
So did you know in the original draft of this movie, half of the movie was just a recap of the first two movies?
What?
Sam Raimi thought that Universal wouldn't greenlight a standalone sequel to a franchise they don't fucking own.
That's fair.
Yeah, that, and also an Evil Dead movie recapping the events of the previous movie. Why I never.
Well, this
Never
movie
heard
still
of it.
does that. It was just originally like, you know how people, and Tim, I know you're gonna get angry at this, but people do say this.
I am aware of the thing.
Evil Dead 2 is just a high-budget remake of the first one. That's what people say. Well, the idea behind the first half of Evil Dead 3 was going to be a high-budget remake, an even higher-budget remake of the first two movies.
Oh my god. It's,
That's
and I
just some
gotta say-
That's some straight up Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 shit. Just the first half is just the first movie.
That's a good bit. That's a good bit.
yeah.
To be fair, I do think Army of Darkness would be better if Bruce Campbell said Garbage Day.
Garbage Day.
Garbage Day! He says that before he strikes the killing blow.
Yeah.
There was an incident with a crane on set. It was really bad.
Where a munchkin hung himself?
Yeah, there was a peacock from the zoo, and for years people thought the Wicked Witch caught on fire. There was they were filming
I love
that
you guys.
shot from the end of Evil Dead 2 where Bruce and the car like plop out of the sky, right? And fucking they wanted to do it again but on a higher budget and to like control the pace better. So they bring in this big like fucking 80-ton crane and they're gonna drop the car and they're standing around like getting the shot ready, and then they hear the crane starting to tip over and the crane falls over with the car into a fucking crevasse, into a fucking pit. The crane is gone. 80-ton crane. They have to wheel in a bigger crane to get the crane out of the pit. So,
Well, Master Qui-Gon always said there's a bigger crane.
get this though. So they start using that crane to drop the car, right?
Oh no. Oh no.
No, it doesn't.
No!
No, they get the shot. It's fine. This is where things get bad. So they've got it in the can. It's developed. The editor and Sam are looking at it later, and the editor's like, hey, the one you guys shot for Evil Dead 2 is actually still better than this. And that's what's in the finished movie. They destroyed a crane and still didn't use the footage.
That's fucking incredible. Anyway, Austin, I know your opinion on this, but I want to hear the Joe and Tim opinions. S-Mart ending or Sleep Too Long ending?
I'm going for S-Mart. Like, I don't hate the Sleep Too Long ending, just like on a conceptual level. Like I kind of went into this on the Evil Dead Rise. Like I think there's my theory that the timeline forks at the two endings, where you get Ash vs. Evil Dead from the S-Mart ending, and you get the reboots from the Slept Too Long ending. So just on that like nerd level, I kind of like it, but I definitely think that the S-Mart one is the better ending. And like me and Joe watched a movie that turned out to not be good, called My Name is Bruce. But that movie ends with a scene where like there's going to be an unhappy ending, and Bruce is like, no, cut this. We need a happy ending. So it's what Bruce wants.
Hell yeah.
I agree. Joe?
What Tim said, though I want to add something on to the I Slept Too Long ending. That ending to me feels a little bit more Evil Dead than the S-Mart ending. It feels like it dips its toe more into the previous two films over the S-Mart ending. Because yeah, it's like when you really look back on like the last three Evil Dead movies, all three of them, well, if we're not talking about the S-Mart ending, all three of them end with, oh, Ash fucked up somehow. And it honestly kind of fits with his character throughout like the whole movie like trilogy, because the whole fucking thing is Ash as a character devolves every single fucking movie. Starts out as a relatively competent guy, gets dumb but is still competent, and then he gets really fucking dumb, and it just keeps fucking going.
What's the funniest gag in the movie? For me, it's when he's at the grave and he has to remember the key spell words, and he's like,
skeleton hands when they're popping out from all directions. That's my favorite.
That's a good one.
God.
That's a good bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I am going with Klaatu Vrata. It's just a classic.
Jesus Christ. Favorite bit for me. I do like the hands coming out of the grave. I do like the Klaatu Vrata.
Tiny Bruce is a good bit too.
I was gonna mention the Tiny Bruces, because if we weren't gonna do it, but yeah, the Tiny Bruces make me laugh. I know they don't make some people laugh. I get it. It's a little too ridiculous. I don't know. There's just something about Bruce Campbell hamming it up when he's playing an evil character and his voice getting higher pitched that makes me laugh. And it's also Bruce Campbell tormenting Bruce Campbell, which is hilarious. But then again, I think my favorite bit is probably the cheapness of that final battle, where it's literally they're throwing like model skeletons at Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
So you guys know, speaking of Bruce,
can I actually I want to keep going on about this for like the cheapness of this movie, because yeah, it is expensive, but man, is it also cheap. Like you can kind of like tell in like certain areas where it's like, oh, they didn't have a stunt double that day, because literally in the pit scene you just see people just like willingly jump into it. It's like they're supposed to be pushed into the pit, but no, they're just like poke, oh okay, jump, oh it's a
backflips.
It purposefully backflips into the pit.
So the climactic sword fight at the end at Arthur's Castle, where Bruce does his thing.
Yeah.
Fun fact, Bruce actually suffered a cut on his face.
Yeah.
Yep.
During that. And had to be taken to a hospital to assess the damage. At the hospital, someone needed to point out to the doctor where the injury was because of all of the special effects scars and cuts on Bruce's face.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's just fucking hilarious.
Joe was talking about how Ash sort of devolves as a character, and I'd like to expound on that a little bit. Like, I think in the first movie, he's, like, relatively competent, but he's also, just, like, a green, wet behind the ears, doesn't know what the hell he's doing. And
just a guy.
And then in 2, he's, like, dumber, but he's a little bit more, like, heroic. And then it's like there's a graph where he gradually gets dumber but stronger.
Dumber, but better at
it's-
killing demons.
It's the himbofication of Bruce Campbell.
Don't get us started on Ash versus Evil Dead and his dumbness there.
You know, you want to talk about himbo Bruce Campbell. One of the most iconic lines of this movie is "Give me some sugar, baby." You know?
Oh yeah.
Fun fact: Sam Raimi apparently came up with that on the spot.
Yeah.
And when he told Bruce to say it, Bruce's response was apparently, "That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard." But Sam Raimi insisted that he say it.
Yep.
Listen,
he's not wrong, but it's fucking great.
It's perfect. Also,
Listen.
first and last studio film to ever star Bruce Campbell. What were you saying, Tim?
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, like, listen, I use that line. It works.
I think the thing that makes it so crazy is that they basically just got into a tiff. Like, she just slapped him, walked away, and then he goes straight to give me some sugar, baby. Like, what were you gonna say?
The romance in this is fucking ridiculous.
Speaking of, like, lines from this movie that I just use on a regular basis now, so that if the real fans who watched my Sonic videos, you know that I got a cat recently. And there's two things that I like to say to my cat fairly regularly. One is when I'm walking out the door, I quote Oppenheimer and say, "Try not to blow up the world." And number two, when she's committing war crimes in the house, I say, "Lady, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave the store."
You know how the composer of this movie is Joseph Loguca?
Joseph DeLuca.
Yeah, on the poster it's misspelled as Joseph DeLuca, and that's fucking hilarious.
Honestly, every time I see his name, it's like Dua Lipa, where I want to flip it around. Like,
Lua Deepa?
It's something like that. Dua Lipa, Leah Dupa, some shit like that.
Duolingo?
Duolingo. Barbie.
This movie could
Shit, I need to do Duolingo.
Don't do it now, you're recording.
Oh, my bad.
So even if you, like, watch this in 4K, like a transfer from the negative, it's pretty grainy. That's because a vast amount of this film's special effects were achieved using a process called Intravision. Have y'all motherfuckers ever heard of Intravision before? Anyone?
No.
Right.
Wow.
So it's this front projection system that lets you overlay actors in front of, like, pre-shot footage or photos. But you can also put a layer of footage in the foreground as well. So, like, you ever used After Effects before, basic compositing tools? It's like you put a little PNG in front of them, you put a little fucking video behind them, right? That shit's super easy to do now that we have digital compositing programs. But back in the day, doing this optically, there was like a whole complicated process. Like matting, beam splitters, all this shit, giant stage, special like facility. But it lets you say like film inside a miniature and it looks huge. Then you drop your actor on a stage where it now looks like they're walking around in that miniature environment. Like some other notable examples of Intravision that might help you put this like together in your head are the train scene in Stand By Me. Obviously those kids weren't in front of a train. The bus crash in The Fugitive. But get this, the intro to UHF with Weird Al, the Raiders of the Lost Ark thing. It was filmed in a miniature and he was put in there using Intravision, the technology from this movie. So,
I'm sorry, so you're telling me those kids were not in front of a train in Stand By Me?
Actually, fun fact, the train hit the camera. The crew actually had to jump out of the way because they misestimated that the train could stop in time before it would hit the filming thing, and it didn't. It fucking just plowed right through it. So
that's incredible.
It's really good that the kids weren't there on location that day.
All right, so guys, which Ted Raimi cameo in this movie is your favorite? Because there's like 4 of them.
My sword, or whatever the fuck. You have my steel.
You have my steel. You have my schmeat. You have my giant Ted Raimi schmeat. I'm packing 9 inches.
I'm out.
Oh.
Tim, what's your favorite Ted Raimi cameo?
I mean, the one that comes to mind is just at the very end. It's like, did you say the words right this time?
That's a good one. Actually, fun fact, I'm pretty sure if you listen closely enough, when Bruce Campbell coughs that 3rd word, I'm pretty sure he actually says the correct word. He just wasn't very confident in himself.
Nick too, I guess.
Like, it sounds like you can barely make it out, but I think he says Nick too.
Gotta leave him guessing. Gotta make it ambiguous.
You guys wish they made the 4th movie where he fought with robots?
Yes.
Yeah! Yeah, that was gonna be so good. Joe.
That was also gonna be the plot of season 4 of Ash vs. the Evil Dead.
Fuck.
Rip. Since we were on the topic of quotes, do we all have a favorite quote? Or
This is my boomstick!
Or honestly, quotes that we, since Tim brought it up, do we have quotes from this that we use every day?
This is my boomstick every time I have sex with a woman.
Yeah, this is my boomstick.
So never.
The one that ran into me back forever ago.
Also, give me some sugar, baby.
Give me some sugar, baby. Hail to the king, baby, is another great one.
Yes.
Yeah, God, Hail to the King is great.
My name is Ash, and I am a slave.
Oh my god. One that I use often, whenever I suspect something's going wrong, it's trick. Get an X. The other one I used on my ex-best friend, which is, honey, you got real ugly.
I like the one where he goes, ah! You know, when Bruce Campbell does that, that's pretty good.
London Bridge is falling down.
Falling down.
My fair lady.
Perfect.
No
notes.
No notes. This is great. I love you all. You know that the Linda in the prologue?
Yes, Bridget Fonda.
Yeah, I just found this out 5 seconds ago. That's Danny Elfman's wife, apparently.
That's Danny Elfman's wife?
Yeah, Bridget Fonda is Danny Elfman's wife.
I never knew they were married.
Yeah, I've mentioned this before. I don't know if I've mentioned it on the show before, but 4 different women have played Linda in live action. Pray for Bruce. That man has had to kill 4 different Lindas.
You know that S-Mart is a real grocery store chain?
Oh yeah.
Shop smart.
But
in Mexico.
Yeah, that's smart.
I think it was originally supposed to be Kmart, because like whenever Bruce Campbell talks about like the S-Mart scenes, he always says Kmart. So I don't know.
You know what? It has big Kmart vibes. However, can we all agree? So there are multiple versions of this movie. Name.
There's like
this
4
movie.
of them.
So the big one we all know is Army of Darkness. I believe in the UK it's called Army of Darkness: The Medieval Dead.
Right.
There's some kind of third one, but my personal favorite is the Japanese name, which is Captain Supermarket.
Captain Supermarket.
Holy
That's
shit.
my personal favorite.
Holy shit.
Yeah, greatest title ever.
That owns. So, is this like... This seems to be like the only movie with like medieval zombies that's actually back in medieval times. I was trying
aware of.
I was trying to find like another one that might have influenced Sam Raimi, and I came across this 1978 film called Tombs of the Blind Dead, where the medieval Knights Templar are like, they're drinking blood to be immortal, and then they're like, they fucking sit in a tomb for a long time, and Spanish people in 1972 turn these medieval knights into zombies, and they run around killing people. It spawned 5 sequels, or 4 sequels, 5 films total. But it's the only thing like close with like medieval zombies made before Army of Darkness, not Army of the Dead.
Stop doing that.
Zack Snyder should have
changes the
directed
person.
this movie.
And-
I can't believe I just fucking said that.
And what's crazy is Tomb of the Blind Dead, the American release title was just The Blind Dead, and it's in the Evil Dead font. It's so cool. Get it on
Anyway,
Blu-ray now.
Get it now on video, DVD.
Why'd you like
They should put it on a Disney DVD so we can watch it using Disney's Fast
Disney's
Play.
Fast Play, your motion picture and a selection of bonus features will begin momentarily.
There we go.
Hi, I'm Bruce Campbell, and this is my boomstick, and you're watching the Disney Channel.
And then he draws the Mickey Mouse ears with his penis.
That's one direction to take that bit in.
No, that's
Direction?
a band. That's a band. Oh, one last thing. Dark Horse presents 5th anniversary special edition as one of the items found in Ash's car. That is the first ever comic book to that comic includes the very first installment of Frank Miller's Sin City. Fun fact.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Good thing to carry around.
Final thoughts. Joe, go. All right, moving on. Tim, go.
Your mom.
All right, Joe, go.
Movie good. Movie fucking good. Go see it. Yeah, if you're gonna watch all the Evil Dead movies, watch that one too. Good times. Yeah, good times. I'll see you guys after Halloween.
Tim, go.
Yeah, this was a good one to revisit. I always loved watching the original trilogy around Halloween time. Had a good time with this. I have the 4K of that as well, in addition to my 4K set of the first two movies up there. I got the Steelbook for Army of Darkness. And like Tanner mentioned, I did get to watch this at the 35mm screening, and for a long time, this was the only Evil Dead movie that I hadn't been able to see in a theater. Like, it wasn't like being played anywhere that I could find it. So I'd seen the first two a couple times, and I'd seen the two newer ones. But I was finally able to catch this one in 35. That was a great experience. If you have the opportunity to see it on big screen, I'm sure it'll play well with a crowd. It played well with our crowd, as do all the Evil Dead movies. But it's just a fun spooky time. Back to you, Taylor.
All right, good shit, Austin.
They wanted to make the Medieval Dead, but after 111 days of busting their butts in the deserts, all they ended up making was mid. True shame, RIP in peace, get back to me in 5 years. There's a good chance I'm fronting right now. Back to you, Tanner.
Trying to fucking cast a curse on you. Hold on. Trying to...
It's mid!
Austin curse! Austin curse! Austin curse! Platoon acto.
One movie I did actually recently like and find funny was Freddy Got Fingered. It's actually
I want
a lot
you to
better
kill
than
yourself! Movie groovy. It's the best Evil Dead movie. Hail to the king, baby. This movie gave me some sugar.
Nice. Nice.
But
You want to know who else is gonna give me some sugar?
Who?
Joe was like, whoa!
yeah, I intentionally did that. I played into the bit.
Penis, the person watching / listening to this episode of Bomb Squad Matinee. If you're watching it on YouTube, thank you. If you're listening, thank you. Go to our Patreon. Give me money. None of these other guys. I steal all of it. Go to the comment section below. Let me know what's your favorite Evil Dead movie. Do you love Army of Darkness? Which ending do you prefer? And finally, do you like Bruce Campbell's Schmeat? Comment below and let me know. And if you're watching this video, shut the fuck up. Everyone got giant Schmeat. They packing big money monsters in this one.
Okay.
Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon. Thank you very much for watching. Tune in next week when we...
Tanner, that's a Fall Out Boy song.
My songs know what you did in the dark. So Halloween, we're Halloween, we're doing Halloween. Good night.
Hail to the king, baby.
See you later, Joe.
I didn't get to say this last week, so your mother sucks cocks in hell.
They slid my ticket across the table and I said, "Sorry guys, I gotta see about a girl."